If you can't really establish what that problem is, you really know your solution, you really know your product or service and all the features of it, but you can't relate those features back to the problem that it's solving, you'll have difficulties connecting with your buyers.
I can see the whole wide world with these two eyes, and I can be whoever I wanna be, 'cause it's my life.
Hi, thanks for joining us for another episode of Ask Spurrell CPA. Today, as the Edmonton business consultant, we're talking about how the business plan, problem, vision, and mission. Again, as the Edmonton business consultant, we're talking about the business plan, problem, vision, and mission. I have Tyson here with me today.
Hello.
Tyson, did they teach you a lot about problem, vision, and mission in school?
Not a lot. They told me about them, but not how to really create them and create good ones anyway.
Create a good one,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Were a lot of the examples you looked at in school too long?
Oh yeah. And just for too big of companies that have too wide of a spectrum.
Yeah.
Whereas small businesses are really dialed in.
Really dialed in, yeah. So the quote that we have here today, it's the Benjamin Franklin quote on planning, and he says, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. Again, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. You know, Palo Alto has run the stats on it, and they know that businesses who complete a business plan are 50% more likely to grow their revenue than businesses that do not create a business plan. And the story that we run into over and over again, and it's in my own story too, sometimes business owners, they think that the problem, vision, and mission statements are overrated fluff. They think the problem, vision, mission statements are overrated fluff. They don't really need to do it. So Tyson, what are the questions that these people should be asking?
Yeah, first is, what is the only reason that people buy things?
So people buy things, and this is a debatable thing, and this is my take on it. People only buy things to solve problems. That's why they buy things. And you can think about it, now some things are obvious. You think about, someone buys something from a plumber. They buy the services of a plumber because their basement is flooding right now. They're clearly solving a problem. They hire an accountant because they have an issue with CRA. And they want it to go away. They want help with it. They're buying something to solve a problem. They buy a plate because the problem is they don't want to have food all over their table. They want a plate to put their food on. But it extends even further beyond that, and it extends even into luxury items. So people buy a Rolex watch because the problem they perceive is they don't think they're cool enough. They don't think they're having enough fun, so they go out and they buy that Corvette. Or that Porsche. So it is really not those really basic, easy to connect, solve a problem type services. It's even the luxury items or the ancillary items, at its most basic purpose. People are always exchanging money to solve one of their problems.
Right. If you can't clearly and concisely identify your problem, will you struggle with sales?
I think so. Yeah, if you can't really establish what that problem is, you really know your solution, you really know your product or service and all the features of it, but you can't relate those features back to the problem that it's solving, you'll have difficulties connecting with your buyers, and you'll have difficulties getting them to purchase from you because you can't make the connection for them of what problem this is solving. So I think you have to be really, clear and concise on what that problem is, or else you will fail to connect with your customers.
Did you at one time underestimate the value of vision and mission statements?
I did. I'm an accountant. I went to school. I studied numbers. I like numbers. I like the math behind it. And so when someone starts talking about, you got to write out the problem of your customers or the vision of the business or the mission statement of the business. It sounded like fluff to me. And I'm sure it does for a lot of, analytical thinking entrepreneurs out there, that they're thinking that this doesn't really add any value. I understand other companies are doing it, and especially when you see other companies do it and the garbage that they write for their problem, vision, and mission, and how unusable it is, probably even more reinforces that you probably shouldn't be doing it. So I think it's common for a lot of business owners to underestimate how valuable a well-written problem, vision, and mission can be.
Yeah. Is it difficult to lead a team if you can't identify where the company is going?
Yeah, most people, they want to be part of something that's progressing. they find it interesting, they find it rewarding. If they're part of a stagnant organization, they get bored, for lack of a better sense. They don't know what's going on. So it's really important that you can really clearly and concisely tell people exactly where the company is going. It makes it easier to lead the team, and that vision and mission statement are really helpful to do that.
Yeah. Should the vision be a long-term goal or a short-term goal?
The vision should be a long-term goal. The vision is something that's going to take you years to do. And the mission is more something that's going to be something that you're going to do each and every day of the business. But the vision is something that you're working towards, that big goal that really keeps people, this is what we're working towards year after year after year. If it's something that you can knock out in a year, you're going to knock it out, and people, it's going to be a little bit deflating. So you got to make it that big goal.
Do you believe the vision should be measurable?
I do. And this is how I came to terms with writing vision statements. Vision statements that are these big esoteric ideas that you can never really count or establish if you're actually achieving them. I still think they're overrated fluff. I think the real vision statements that really help are ones that are grounded in numbers, ones that you can actually count if you're getting towards. It's usually an enormous number that you don't have a hope that you can do it in 1 year, but you can count. Hey, we got 1% there this year, or we got 5% there this year to that big overriding vision. So this is where I think it makes it tangible, and it makes it easy for those people with those analytical thinkers. Now they can really connect with that vision and get some value from that vision.
Are mission statements helpful to guide the team on uncertain decisions?
Yeah, I think so, because in business, yourself as the business owner and your managers and your frontline staff, they're all going to encounter uncertain situations, and you're going to try your best to write policies and procedures and checklists and templates to guide them through all the situations that you can foresee. But inevitably, you're going to end up with these decisions that you have to make that are outside of anything that you could possibly have checklisted or templated. Mm-hmm. And so that mission statement is that one thing that you can be working on every single day. This is, at the end of the day, this is what guides us. At Spurrell Associates, it's helping Canadian businesses beat the odds. So, when I got a decision to make, and it's a hard decision, what is going to be the most useful in helping Canadian businesses beat the odds? Maybe we have to go the extra mile for the customer. Maybe that customer is going to be too much of a distraction that's going to prevent us from getting the rest of the customers, right? It's really going to guide you on what you should do in uncertain situations.
Mm-hmm. Are most mission statements too long?
Most mission statements are incredibly long. And you ask the business owners, a lot of times I ask business owners, do you have a mission statement? And they say, yeah, you have a mission statement. My next question is always, well, what is the mission statement? And they don't remember it. They're like, oh, I can look it up. And you got to imagine, this is the business owner. This is the person that cares as much about the business as any other person on the entire planet. But they don't know what the mission statement is because it's too long. But yet they're expecting their staff to know it and use it. So when it's too long, what happens is no one knows what it is and no one uses it on a day-to-day basis. These are things that need to be upfront, and people just have to be using them on a day-to-day basis, or else it really is not usable.
Mm-hmm. Should the mission statement be everything to everyone or highly focused?
Yeah, the other thing is it needs to be highly focused on what you're doing. I see a lot of them and they sound great. They're we're for the betterment of the community and society as whole, and feed the hungry and shelter the poor, and they're an electrical contractor, and it's not really it's not really relevant for what they're doing. You got to make it super focused and super usable for what you're doing in your industry. You can't be everything to everyone, and even if it's a little bit polarizing, that's better than not, because it really sets the tone of who you are and who you're not, and it should guide your decision making each and every day.
Okay. Should they be easy enough to be memorized by your lowest level employee?
Yeah, so you have to think about it. You're not writing it to the intelligence of the business owner. You have to be writing it to the intelligence and sometimes the the care rating of your lowest level employee. So imagine you're going to hire someone to answer phones or stock shelves one day. It has to be written in such a way that's easy enough for them to memorize, because they're not going to have years of training. This is a job that, sometimes some positions are going to be more transient than others. There are going to be people coming in and out of those positions. It has to be simple enough that your lowest level employee can memorize it quickly, make sense to them, and they can apply it each and every day to the work that they're doing. So you really have to be, simple is better when it comes to a mission statement. So I think that's what we have here today. As always, please hit the like and subscribe button so we can continue to deliver you tips on how to beat the odds at business. And we'd love to see any feedback that you have. Please leave us some comments below so we can respond back and use any of your input to guide us in the content for future videos. Thanks very much.